Dear students, welcome to this lecture of strategic human resource management. And in the earlier lectures, we have discussed in detail the concept of strategic knowledge management. And in today's lecture, we will take up certain cases related to strategic knowledge management. And I am Dr. Tripti Barthwal. I am Director, Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management and Development Studies, Lucknow. So, let us start with the case of Toyota, how knowledge is being managed at Toyota. Toyota's approach to knowledge management caters to both explicit and tacit knowledge. I am sure by now you understand what is the difference between explicit and tacit knowledge. So, knowledge which is very obvious, it is there for everybody to read or to see, that is an explicit knowledge, and tacit knowledge is which is embedded, which cannot be so well expressed. So, to share explicit knowledge, Toyota details out all tasks completed by its employees in a job instruction, which is called a JI document. So, as I already have discussed in the earlier lectures also, that explicit knowledge sharing is not that difficult, right. So, for that Toyota uses a special document which is called a job instruction document, wherein employees fill in every detail of the work which they do. So, anybody who reads that document can very well understand that what the employee does, how does he work, how does he performs his task and responsibilities, etc., etc. Then the JI has 3 columns of information. Now, what are these columns? First are the major steps, contains step by step instructions for completing the task. So, every just for example, when we discuss a process, then we first that say that there are 5 steps, 6 steps in this process, and then we give those steps, each step a heading. So, first are the, similarly here we have the major steps in the JI document, that it is like a sequence of the entire thing which an employee does. Then key points. Now, at every step, what are the things which an employee should specifically take care of, which they should be very careful about? What are those points? These are mentioned as key points, right. Then, and it also contains very valuable tips and cautions, points of cautions, where things can go wrong and where more observation or more focus is required. And the last part of the JI document, or the last column, is reasons for key points. Now, this explains why the tips and warnings are important. So, this kind of gives an entire idea that what an employee does, where things can go wrong and why these things can go wrong, and that is why they need to be the new employees or whosoever is reading the document should be very careful about these points. Then, now the more difficult part, as we have discussed, is sharing of tacit knowledge. How does Toyota do that? So, Toyota employees spend several months working alongside experienced employees on the assembly lines in Toyota factories. So, we have already discussed that the best way to pass on tacit knowledge is by observation. When a new employee who wants to gain knowledge works in close proximity to the employee who is experienced, who possesses that tacit knowledge, then knowledge sharing can take place. So, that the similar thing is done in Toyota. New employees can follow the instructions on the JI document, but they can also pull from the tacit knowledge they gained while observing experienced employees in performing their tasks. So, it is a very fine and a good blend of explicit and implicit knowledge. Explicit knowledge employees can draw from the JI document, and implicit knowledge or tacit knowledge they can draw from looking at experienced employees working. And when opening a new factory, Toyota not only sends the new factory workers to an existing factory for training, it also sends experienced employees from an existing factory to the new factory to work alongside new workers for a few months. So, again a fine blend of tacit and explicit knowledge is taking place, that when a new factory is being opened, then new factory workers to work in that factory are sent, so that every organization will be doing. But with those new factory workers, experienced factory workers are also sent to train these freshers, and employees from an existing factory, when they go and the freshers they work with these experienced employees, then they get the entire the entire the holistic approach, and they get the explicit knowledge also and the tacit knowledge also. This creates consistency in knowledge and processes across Toyota factories around the world, and this also kind of helps employees to correlate and to understand that whatever is written in the theory in the JI document is how it is used in practical working. Then another organization very famous we will take up is Microsoft. Microsoft built its first knowledge collaboration platform in 2006 on SharePoint. So, it has been doing this for the last 14-15 years. It was essentially an intranet designed to collect information about customer engagements and make the knowledge available to everyone in the company. So, actually it started with a customer perspective, knowledge sharing started with a customer perspective, and intranet was designed, and it was meant to collect information about the customer's engagement with the company. By 2010, the platform hosted 37,000 sites. Eventually, the company realized it needed a more modern system for collecting and distributing information. In 2013, they moved the platform to the cloud using Microsoft Office 365 and SharePoint Online. This allowed team members to access, share and create knowledge assets from anywhere using any device. So, wherever people are virtually they remain connected, they can access, share and create knowledge through any device sitting anywhere in the world. Today, Microsoft's teams uses a variety of companies' programs to find and share knowledge. Employees save files to the cloud, not locally on personal computers. So, things have advanced. This simplifies document sharing and prevents data loss caused by turnover, computer failure and theft. So, when you all know that when things are being saved on the cloud, then you do not have to worry about the equipment being stolen or crash, the whole system has crashed down or something of that sort. You do not have to worry about that. With cloud hosting, employees can still create knowledge databases like they did back in 2006, but they are also able to create sites for external projects and make those available to customers and partners outside of the Microsoft network. So, the accessibility and the whole the entire picture of it has increased and it has expanded manifold. All intranet sites integrate with Microsoft's other services. This allows knowledge collaboration sites to have other important features like social networking, shared note taking and people search. Then a company which is very fast growing and in the retail, online retail business, it is one of the front runners, Amazon. There is a lot to learn about knowledge management from the world's most valuable retail brand. Amazon is a perfect example of effective knowledge management. It makes things easy by collecting all knowledge and information on a single platform for customers instead of going to different stores. So, for as a customer, what benefit do I get in terms of knowledge management? It is like I do not have to go to different stores and like knock at different stores to buy different products, even different categories of products. I do not have to go to different stores, forget about the brands. I can just log into Amazon's website, or I can move to the app and I can get almost everything which I require through it. But The most interesting part is that Amazon is not it is just not in the retail business. I mean, retail business is just a part of what Amazon is. It is also a technology company, because everything which Amazon does and everything which it kind of brings before the customer is all rooted, or it is all created through technology. One of its newest products, Amazon Connect, is a productized version of the company's own contact center software, another example of effective knowledge management. Because Amazon processes billions of transactions each month, it is impractical for the company to have a live customer service representative on hand to answer every question coming through the call center, provide every update and resolve every complaint. I am sure most of you must have had the experience of buying something from Amazon, and if you had a query or a complaint, you must have contacted the customer support or the help desk, and immediately a window will pop up, and they will ask, hi, I'm this and do you have a problem, or do you want to say something, do you have a query or something of that sort. What is that? That is Amazon Connect, wherein because Amazon, there are so many customers who are putting orders every second on Amazon, so it is impossible for human beings to deal with all these if they have any queries or complaints. So the software helps them to do that, and instead the company uses artificial intelligence, its knowledge repository and voice recognition technology to provide customer support for simple requests. So there is no human being who is interacting with the customer, it is the artificial intelligence. It has been developed and sharpened in such a way that the customer feels they are interacting with live human beings. Connect uses data from Amazon.com in transactions to provide updates to customers on when and where when their order will be delivered. So immediately you get updates, and regularly you get updates of when. So all that is related to Amazon Connect. It uses a database of historical customer service interactions to provide answers to commonly asked questions. So the artificial intelligence is designed in such a way that it can predict the most commonly asked questions by customers for a product or a brand, and it is already prepared with those specific the answers of those specific questions, FAQs. It also uses voice recognition and historical interactions data to direct calls to the appropriate live customer service representatives. So when it feels that when the artificial intelligence recognizes that it will not be able to answer the questions of or the queries of the customer, then it will direct the call to a live customer service representative. The final remarkable example of knowledge management from Amazon is its sellers APIs. This is also a very unique feature of Amazon. Amazon not only has all of its knowledge available on a central platform, it provides that knowledge to its sellers, so they have information they need to earn most revenue. The best example, Amazon subscriptions API allows sellers to get notifications 60 seconds after another seller changes the price on a product sold by both the companies. This is such a interesting and a unique feature of Amazon, that if both you and I are selling the same product, let us say we are selling L'Oreal cream, both of us are selling, then if you reduce the price or if you increase the price within 60 seconds, that is 1 minute, I will also get a notification that you have changed the price. So I can act accordingly. Then another great company in knowledge management is Siemens. Siemens AG, a multi-million dollar conglomerate, produces everything from X-ray machines to light bulbs to power generation equipment to high-speed trains. So look at the variety range. Siemens needed to share knowledge more effectively among its nearly 500,000 employees around the globe. So that was the number of employees, so it became very essential to share knowledge with and the challenge was, with such a great number, how do they share knowledge? In 1996, a group interested in knowledge management organized into a community of interest. We have had a little discussion about this in the earlier class also. They examined how knowledge management in its infancy could be exploited at Siemens. The mid-level managers begin to develop communities of practice. A COP is a group of individuals responsible for creating, refining and maintaining knowledge in its area of expertise, knowledge repositories and methods to share knowledge. So, the employees who are interested in knowledge sharing, they started creating COPs or communities of practice. 1999, upper management recognized the importance of these efforts. Its central board created a distinct organizational knowledge management unit. There were developmental problems, both cultural and technological, which is not unusual when a large scale information system is proposed. ShareNet provides a database repository, search engine and chat room. There are online entry forms so that employees may enter knowledge into the repository that they may feel useful. Employees can then search the repository or browse via topic. Once they find a useful nugget, they may then contact the authors for further details. IT is viewed as a tool that enables ShareNet. It is a small portion of the effort. Most of the work involved change management because there was a lot of attitudinal problems which employees have. Siemens internally marketed ShareNet to its employees, and they convinced them how beneficial it is going to be for them. There were 100 internal evangelists who trained and answered questions of employees and monitored the knowledge management system. Top management supported the entire effort. Incentives are given to employees who provide knowledge to the system, and the sales staff quickly learned that the KMS helped them land large contracts readily. So, it was beneficial for the company, beneficial for the employees. And the last case we will take up is that of our very own Titan Industries. Titan Industries, Bangalore, India is the 5th largest integrated watch manufacturer in the world. In addition, through leveraging its manufacturing expertise, Titan has branched into components and sub-assemblies and machine building and automation solutions, precision engineering for the aerospace and automobile sectors, tooling solutions, electronic sub-assemblies and stylish prescription eyewear. So, that is the range of Titan. Titan Industries also developed India's largest retail network through its exclusive World of Titan, Helios and Fast Track showrooms, after sales service centers, jewelry stores and eyeglass stores. This combination of multi-brand stores, large format stores, precision engineering and fierce competition call for rapid learning throughout the organization. Titan Industries continually strives to learn from its past experiences to create conditions for future success. Titan continuously identifies factors that aided its success as well as factors that impeded its progress, so that its impressive track record is pointing the direction towards future stellar performance. So, executive management's investment in the implementation of its corporate-wide sales and knowledge management portal is further evident. So, they are not sharing knowledge at several levels. Earlier in 2006, Titan's leaders identified 2 areas of enormous potential to learn from its experiences to build a framework for continued success: knowledge management and sales. So, these were the 2 areas which they picked that they were very important for consistent performance and success in the future, and they are working towards it. Prior to developing its knowledge management system, most internal documents were stored and retrieved manually, as was the case before a full-fledged formal system of knowledge management was adopted by most of the organizations. Documents were stored and they were accessed manually. Finding information and documents was difficult because of that, obviously. Only by institutionalizing its knowledge could past success be replicated. It realized that if it is so difficult to share and to store and then to retrieve knowledge, then it is a time and energy consuming exercise, and it is a waste. So if the documents can be stored in such a way that then whenever required they can be very easily accessed, then whatever they have learned in the past, that success can be replicated in the future. So thus Titan implemented a knowledge management portal as a key component of its business strategy to continue delivering innovative products and services to its customers. Titan's KM vision is to institutionalize knowledge sharing using portals, communities of practice, and its internal Quest magazine. Titan's knowledge management initiative is a blend of information, collaboration and communication. So, like in the case of Siemens, we have discussed that they created communities of practice. Here also in the case of Titan, for knowledge management they created the communities of practice, and similarly they also created its Quest magazine, through which people can share their ideas, they can read or go through, or they can access the ideas of others, and that is why we can say that Titan's knowledge management initiative is a fine combination of information, that is people sharing a lot of ideas and information. Then it is also all about collaboration, because nothing related to knowledge sharing can happen if people are not ready to cooperate and collaborate with each other. And obviously the most important component of knowledge sharing will be the communication, a very clear, precise, concise communication, and the willingness in people to communicate with each other. If people do not want to communicate with each other, they do not want to share ideas, then the entire system fails. Customer knowledge is also considered important, and thus is captured and used in the sales efforts in other areas. So, we have already discussed that Titan realized that two things can lead to sustained competitive advantage and success in the market. One is knowledge management, and the other is the you have to have lot of sales and marketing. So both were blended, and customer knowledge was used, knowledge management about the customers was used, captured, and in other areas also it was utilized to increase sales. All employees can share ideas, opinions and knowledge independent of physical location or department base. So, when you have such a kind of system of knowledge sharing, then knowledge sharing is not restricted to employees who are in proximity with each other, who can physically meet or see each other. Then knowledge can be shared with employees who are there in any part of the unit, in any part of the state or the country or even the world. In its KMS initiative, Titan made it clear that knowledge sharing was an expected part of one's job. So, the responsibility of knowledge sharing was passed on to every individual member of the organization. It was not as if knowledge management is X or Y's job only, it was like it is a part and parcel of everybody's role and responsibility in the organization. And unless such an effort is done which is organization wide, knowledge management, knowledge sharing will not happen. Because if only one or two people are assigned with the responsibility of knowledge sharing, then knowledge, because knowledge resides in each and every employee of the organization, then it will fail. So, I hope that after understanding the concept of strategic knowledge management, now today in this class today we have discussed cases of so many organizations from Amazon to Microsoft to Siemens to Titan, that I am sure that you should be now able to relate what we have studied with what companies are doing in practically. You have been able to relate both the theory and the practice. Thank you.